All right, Forces of Destiny Season 2, which we're wrapping up micro month here on the podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Phillips, here for the Sky Guys. I mentioned last week, Pete Consadori could not be with us this week. He is off trying to figure out what happened to Bausch. She's doing investigative work. But with us here, as always, Nick Fraietta. Nick, how are you?
Doing well. Season 2 of this show, I enjoyed it a little more than season 1, and you mentioned that on our season 1 review last week. And let's talk about season 2.
Yep. Also here with us today, the man who's completed the journey with me through micro month. That has taken us about like 8 months of recording and scheduling. Max Roberts back with us. Max, how are you?
Good, Mike. Happy to be here for micro half of a year.
Yeah, the official conclusion of micro month, but this is being recorded 3 months before you guys actually hear it. So,
Yeah. Well, all the wonderful people will get to hear us and our fun predictions for the future.
yep. I'll mention at the top. If you want to subscribe, do so. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, Amazon, all the usual suspects. Simply search for the Sky Guys favorite podcast platform. Final episodes there. And we have great new content coming in. Spoiler alert: this might not be the last time you see Max in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to be back for I guess the Acolyte, right? Some of the other series.
Yeah, in the real time, the Acolytes. But there will be another one that Max will be showing up in a few weeks.
Oh,
the secret
Project.
The secret project that we're working on.
Yep. Yeah, and Nick, people want to follow social media. How can I do that?
You can follow at Sky Guys Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, X, Threads, and TikTok.
Yep, you can also follow the YouTube page, Mike Phillips, on YouTube for video versions of the podcast. You got our graphics, Max's fun backgrounds, my fun background, and Nick's, and the props. Lego Ahsoka is here once again to mark the season here. You know, the phase. There she goes. Yeah. All right.
Hello.
All right. So since there is no Star Wars news here, we'll have another fun game for the prediction category here. We'll go around the panel here. I'll start with Nick. When does the Skeleton Crew release? And what format is it? Is it a binge where they drop all 8 at once? Is it 2 episodes a week? Is it once a week? What do you think?
I think it releases holiday season in December, more specifically the 17th, or excuse me, the 18th. That's the Wednesday, and I think it releases all at once.
An 8-episode drop on December 17th.
Yeah.
I'm going to go weekly, but it does start, I think, the day after Christmas. That's my call there. So, Max, how about you?
I think like a November, December release date. I think they probably do it weekly, but they drop 2 episodes at the beginning.
Yeah. All right. So he's the Acolyte model.
Yes. Or I think that was Mando also, wasn't that the first season?
I think it was the first season. I know Ahsoka did that too.
Yeah.
A lot of the shows. Obi-Wan did it.
Endor gave us 3.
Boba Fett did not do it, I believe.
Yeah, it was the least popular. So maybe they just saw that and said, we're not doing that again.
But you know what? When Boba Fett came out, when it was first live and the episodes were first dropping, I remember them being a huge deal.
Yes.
And then, like, after 2 episodes, people were like, forget it.
Then they went back and it was The Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yep. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into this here. General thoughts on season 2, guys. Obviously, we talked about all the animation stuff in season 1, but I think story-wise, I think they're a little better in season 2. Still not what we were intending for, but I did like the missing pieces vibes here, Nick.
Yes, they were a little bit better. I know why you're saying that already. I'll just be not going to beat around the bush. It's because Chopper's here a few times.
Yep, Chopper's a hero.
And that's the only reason you're saying that, but I don't disagree.
Max, what do you think about season 2?
Yeah, I thought it had stronger episodes. We got a better output from Rey, I think. A little bit more of the missing piece vibes and in certain ways. It was fine. It was also like, I will say, like, I binged these pretty much back to back, and I was a little bit like burnt out by the time I was done, even though it was like 2 hours. And I was like, oh my God, this needs to be over. These are just like little tiny 2-minute shorts. So I had a little bit of a bias towards that, but it was a fine season.
Yeah, my experience, I basically binged season 1 in one sitting, and I split 2 into 2 half ones. So like, I was like coming up. I had time to come for air and like, digest a little before I did more.
That's yeah, that definitely helps.
All right, so let's go character by character here, because obviously these are very short. No reason to linger on some of these ones. So we'll start out with we'll start with some of the Rey stuff here first. I guess we'll call it like sequel characters, because we'll throw the Rose one in there too. So Shuttle Shock, the third one. Finn and Rose run into basically Star Wars jellyfish and disable their ship. Finn has to fly while Rose fixes BB-8. And you get through it. We have here also Run, Ray, Run. Ray is scouting inside a Star Destroyer who gets cornered by Tito, the bounty hunter. And she basically has to save Tito's ass. He gets himself knocked out and gets the cons him out of the debris at the wreckage at the end of this situation here. We have a Porg episode where a Porg steals Ray's lightsaber and she tries to use the Force to get it back. I think it's the shortest one of all of them. It's a minute and a half total. We have here another Ray storyline here. Ray and Finn are on a snowspeeder trying to escape Starkiller base. That's really all the Ray stuff here. So, what'd you about the Ray storyline in season 2, Max?
I thought it was fine. The Borg stuff was kind of cute, although I've always been confused about the episode 8 timing. Like, how long is she training on the planet with Luke Skywalker? Because like what, she's like playing with these porgs, but then she's also like learning how to be, I don't know. So the timing part was weird, but I enjoyed it more than I think the Ray stuff in the first season.
Yeah, Nick, the Porg one, they love the Porgs this time around. They were big on the Porgs.
Porgs are a pretty popular character, right? I think like if you had to pick the most popular characters from the sequel trilogy, it's BB-8, the Porgs, and Babu Frick, right? Seems like everyone left 3 movies thinking, oh, those guys are pretty cool. All 3 movies in order.
All the tiny things.
I don't disagree. I enjoyed the one when she was in the Star Destroyer. I just like know when that took place just from seeing it, and that's just I don't know, made it kind of cool for the Ray ones at least. That's kind of what I liked.
Yeah. I thought they were solid here. I thought the snow speeder chase also a fun action sequence with Finn and Ray there.
I do want to point out, I won't mention which one because I know we're going to talk about it, but these episodes are not listed correctly in order on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that. They sort of they shuffle a couple around.
Yeah, I'm not. Because I'm looking at the list on Wikipedia here, and it's not the same list. I remember the order. Like I'm like that didn't come after that, but
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. I don't know why Disney Plus did it like that.
Yeah, I don't know why they did like that either, but I think Ray started better in season 2 than season 1.
definitely.
And what do you got the one Rose episode we got?
I ate my lunch during it and pay close attention.
I thought the jellyfish were cool.
Yeah.
I was like curious if they had ever been in the movies or in the EU before because I didn't know what those creatures were.
Yeah, it was solid. Rose got a moment to shine, which is more than she got in episode 9.
That is true. She's back.
Yeah, she's back. And let's go now to the one Jin episode here because I think they scaled back on the Jin. They couldn't get Felicity Jones back for season 2. Basically, this is one of the weaker ones of the whole season here where Jin's Kyra crystal necklace gets stolen by a kid who's hungry to try and like buy some fruit. She catches the kid in a chase across rooftops. She gives the kid the fruit and gets her Kyra crystal necklace back, which this was sort of a we need to fill the episode count here.
Nah, that one wasn't great. Not really sure why they would do that. Like, if you don't have the voice actress, maybe they had everything except the voice done, and they're like, I don't want to waste this episode, so they just got someone to do the voice. But like, if you don't have the voice, just do a different episode, a different character. But I don't know how. This stuff might not go in that order. It may be the last thing, like, oh, we just need Felicity Jones to record our lines, and then this is done. And she's like, I'm not doing it. And they're like, oh, everything else is done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Max, this felt like a scheduling comment with Felicity Jones, where I mean they had it done, and all of a sudden she couldn't do it. They got somebody the last second to kind of do a voice alike.
That would make a lot of sense actually, because yeah, this episode didn't really do much for me, and I agree with Nick. Like, if she's not going to be in it, and it's not that great of an episode, why go forward with it?
Yeah, and I'll also point. I feel like that there's the Kira one we'll get to in a minute. I feel like maybe Kira was sort of like a replacement for thrown in last second here when they couldn't get Felicity Jones to a second during this episode.
That would carry, and I guess she's the last episode technically.
It's the last one released because it comes out May 25th of
Right.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that when Solo came out? Was 2018?
Yes,
Okay, so maybe that was like a promo for the movie.
I would think so.
Solo had the brilliant idea of coming out 6 months after The Last Jedi, so no one would have Star Wars fatigue or anything, and going head to head in the box office with Avengers Infinity War. Good idea.
Yeah, that worked out. Yeah, bold strategy, Cotton. That didn't work out.
Did not work out. And I don't blame the movie. I think I actually like that movie a lot. I just don't think they did it any justice.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Let's go to Ahsoka here. We got a couple of Ahsoka ones here. Ahsoka crashes a mission that Anakin had for Padme. He's basically planning to just like make out with her the whole mission. Anakin's not upset with her, cuts through the separatist like space to try and get done faster. They have to work together to get past the blockade. They do it. We also have here an Ahsoka episode at the end of the season. I think it's only 2 Ahsoka episodes, which I've forgotten here, is that Ahsoka teaches Ezra the importance of using the Force to fight and not being reliant on just your lightsaber here, which that one, having watched Ahsoka now, came back hit very hard, Max.
Yeah, that actually, now that you say that, that does make a lot more sense. And that was one of the my favorites in the season because it was just cool to see those characters training with one another. But now I agree with you. It fits a lot better into the Star Wars canon watching him fight in Ahsoka.
Nick, what do you think with the Ahsoka 2 episodes?
Yeah, I mean, same. No, nothing different. That was really good, and that was originally, at least when we watched it, that was, or not originally, now the last one.
Yeah.
That was a good finale.
And I thought it was meant to be the finale, but I guess not.
Nick, what'd you about the other episode where Ahsoka crashes Anakin's party?
Fine, no issues really. I don't know. I guess I don't know. It was fine.
It was funny.
It was funny here. And let's go now to the one Kira episode here, which is a highlight for us in the Sky Guys, Nick, because it's the return of Hondo Onaka.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
My favorite episode.
Yeah. We see Kira is running from IG-88.
I mean, are you kidding me? It was Hondo and IG-88. This was my favorite episode of any animated show ever.
Yeah, so Hondo's back. He and IG-88 are trying to collect a bounty on Kira, and she basically tricks them into like, what do you call, like giving up the game and basically she captures both of them and is turning in for both their bounties here. So this is a fun situation to see Hondo and IG-88 bantering each other. Hondo back is always a highlight, Max.
Yeah, that was a fun little episode. It took me a minute to remember who Kira was. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, she's the woman from Solo. But yeah, that was like a cute little episode. Good banter, good dialogue.
Nick, what do you think? Obviously, like the highlight of the episode was Hondo, but I think this crew was a fun little
I actually loved the episode, and it's my favorite one. So when we do that question on what your favorite episode was, this was my favorite one, and it's yes, probably because of the characters that were in it, but I just enjoyed the way that they worked together, or I guess really worked against each other, but played off each other.
Yep. Let's go now to we'll go to the Padme episode. There's one episode where she's still the queen of Naboo, and she helps a bunch of her idiot guards figure out why this giant monster is attacking a base. And it turns out that poachers kidnapped the baby, and they are trying to get the baby back here. And this feels like a ripoff of Hogwarts Legacy, this storyline.
It was, I don't know. I thought it was fine. It was like a clever Padme. You know, she knows how to fight. She knows how to reason. Model diplomat.
Yeah. Nick, in terms of the timeline, this feels like this must have been not too far after Phantom Menace. I know she becomes like a senator pretty quickly after the first movie.
Yeah, I actually have no idea. I just know in 2 she's a senator, and 1 she's a queen. I have no idea when that time. I'm sure it's out there, but I actually don't know how fast after 1, closer to 2, that she became a senator.
She has her hairstyle closer to episode 2, right? So maybe that makes more sense.
I'll try to take a look and see if I can find it, but
yeah, she's also wearing the same like outfit that she's wearing at the end of episode 1 when she's storming the castle.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. Which is interesting here. But while Nick looks it up here, what do you think about the fact that we broke the female character only model with 2 episodes? We have one with Luke and Yoda on Dagobah learning Luke's doing Jedi training. And then we had Chewie trying to bargain with Porgs. They stole wires from his ship, from the Falcon, thinking they were leaves. So what do you think about getting these 2 storylines here, Nick?
it was 4 years difference. 4 years. So there was 10 years between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
about halfway through the 4th year when she switched to becoming a senator. More porgs, though, huh?
Yeah.
The episode title was Porgs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was just porgs.
Yep.
They're the real stars.
Yeah, I mean, they're funny. They're just like little fun episodes. I guess those are really good for the kids, right?
Yeah. The porgs is always a hit with the children.
Yeah, they're really funny. So,
But Max, what do you think about the choice here when the whole thing is built on, female characters of Star Wars, and we get one with Chewie and porgs and one with Luke and Yoda? That was a interesting decision.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really fit thematically. But that being said, I liked the Luke storyline. It was like cool to see more of his training in Dagobah fleshed out. And the Ford one was like kind of funny and cute, and especially if this is geared towards kids. Um, yeah, I guess it's like out of theme, but I didn't really mind it that much.
Yeah, Nick, the Luke one was definitely a highlight also. Yeah, Luke and Yoda, seeing Yoda be kooky Yoda again was fun.
yeah, he said concentrate like he does in the movie.
Yep.
That was good. That was a good one.
All right.
Really quick, going back to the Padme episode with the monster, the Wikipedia description is Queen Amidala versus
Yes.
Senator Amidala. So we are in I guess we're in 32 to 29 BBY.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
said.
according to Wikipedia, that is her last. That's the last entry of anything that she did as queen.
Oh wow, okay.
So
Good final act.
she stopped the poachers and decided to run for the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good campaign to run there.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's go ahead to we have 2 storylines left here. We'll do the Leia one first here. We got 2 Leia ones. We see Leia I think in between Empire, Return of the Jedi, go with Chewie and R2 to meet Maz Kanata, and Maz lures Boushh into a firefight so Leia can steal his helmet and armor to go get Han back from Jabba. And we also get a storyline Endor here where Luke and Leia work together to help some Ewoks stop a rampaging monster by setting off Ewok traps here. So I think of these 2, I think the one we're going to highlight here is the Boushh thing. That was a cool little Easter egg episode for us.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Max, what do you think about this?
I agree. The Boushh one was it was very cool to see because I think mystery for me was like, how does Leia get this armor? Where does it come from? So it's nice to flesh that out. Although I was just looking this up, the Ewok episode is a deep cut because the monster that they stop is from the film The Caravan of Courage, which was like one of those short Ewok films in like the 1980s. And so that's like probably one of the few appearances of that monster.
So they recently on the 80s Ewok show and brought it into canon.
Uh, if the Ewok show is not already canon, then yes, that is appears to be what they did.
Yeah, it's not canon if I remember correctly.
Then now it's canon. Look at that.
Yeah, Nick, I think they did a good job of Leia again. I was disappointed she only got 2 episodes this time around.
Yeah, they were good though. They were really good.
All right. Last but not least here, we have our Rebels storylines here. I think these were much stronger in season 2, Max.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the one with Sabine and her brother Tristan, where they're blowing up the Empire's fortifications on the statue. Oh, and then they have to have Chopper rescue them from the flying shuttle, and Hera like basically kills a bunch of stormtroopers.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, so reset these 3 episodes here. First one, it's actually the first episode of season 2, is Hera and Sabine are stealing an Imperial shuttle. They steal the wrong one because Sabine's in a hurry.
Uh-oh.
They steal a ship full of troopers, but Chopper's on the right ship. First, he's like, what the hell, guys? You left without me. And then he managed to fly the ship, and then they crash the other one and leap on a Chopper ship, steal the data. The second one here is Chopper and Friends. One of my favorites here is that Chopper is training Ewoks to become soldiers, and they go aboard the Ghost and shoot down some TIE fighters. That one had me cracking up the whole time here. And then the aforementioned art history one where Sabine and Tristan ran her brother on covert mission to Mandalore. They realize that the Empire has basically turned a statue of Terra Vizsla into an outpost, and then they blow up the outpost to basically free the statue being desecrated. So I think these were really strong episodes, all 3 of them.
I agree. I know you loved your Chopper.
Yeah, Max, Chopper teaching Ewoks how to be like killing machines is something I would love to see like a full 22-minute episode of.
That was a fun one, but I think, like I was saying with the first Micro Month episode for Forces of Destiny, that one had like some of the worst animation where you have like the spinning shot of all the Ewoks just like kind of standing next to each other in turrets. I'm like, doesn't do it as much for me. But yes, the Chopper ones are all very funny, and he's a good character, comes alive in those.
Yeah, Nick, I did love at the end of that episode when he comes back onto the ship and Harry's like, he's like, I told you so that I could train these guys.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah. And I do think like it's great that we got War Criminal Chopper back again as well. We didn't get enough of him in Ahsoka.
There'll be more Chopper soon.
Yeah. Corrupting the minds of pure Ewoks. All right, I think we got all of them. I'm going to double check real quick, but it looks like we got a solid season two. I feel like here, so we'll quickly go down around the horn here. We'll go first up, Nick. We have to update the Hondo tracker. The first time we were able to do this since Rebels, so we are now at 19 Hondos.
Great.
Yes, and
Awesome.
we'll see if we get another one.
Pretty well. Pretty well.
All right, so now we'll go here. MVP of the season here. So actually, real quick, also things. Favorite short this season. I'll go with you first, Max.
I think I like Bounty Hunted just because again, it's like this is what the show should have been, filling the little holes in the Star Wars universe. Thought that was cool.
Nick, what was your favorite?
Triple Cross. Not just because of Hondo, just I really liked the episode. I really thought it was really good.
Thanks to my GD.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I said tie between Chopper and Friends and Art History. Those are my two favorites.
All right.
All right. Least favorite episode here. Is there anybody who does not think the Jyn Erso one was the weakest?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And that was one I feel like they were sort of scrambled last minute. I don't think it landed.
Yep.
Great.
Agreed.
All right, so let's go here. MVP of season 2. Max, who you got?
I think, maybe Leia. I think Leia had some good episodes between the stopping the Gorax and the Ewok episode and then the Bounty Hunter episode. So some strong performance overall.
All right. All hail Chopper. He's getting the MVP point for this episode. He saves their bacon a couple times. And I do want to see the spinoff of Chopper training Ewoks how to fight wars. Nick, you're up.
Also gonna give it to Leia. Same reasons as Max. She really performed really well in this season.
All right. Now we'll go the other way for the LVP section here. And I'm gonna give this one to this is a tough one actually in terms of this one here. I'm gonna give it to Chewie. Just because like the fact he got outsmarted by Porgs was not a good look for Chewie. Nick, you're up.
Hondo. Telling them that his bounty was worth more was the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, cocky Hondo.
It was such a bad plan.
Yeah. I swear Hondo likes to talk too much, Max.
He does. And he always thinks he's smarter than everybody else.
All right. So who's your LVP?
Probably Jyn, just because she's in the weakest episode. I will say, just going back to the MVP, the Ewoks are a constant strong point. Like they kick some butt in these episodes.
Yeah, they are very solid characters as a whole in this series.
Yes.
All right. So you grade this on a scale of 1 to 10 now. 1 is worst 1978 Holiday Special. 10 is out there the Prison Break episode of Endor for the pinnacle of Star Wars content. Nick, what's your grade for this season?
I gave the last one a 4. I'll give this one a 5.
All righty. So going on up.
Yeah, it was a little bit better than last season.
Max, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd also go up one, maybe like a 5.5. I think this was a stronger season on the whole than the first one, but it was still like it was fine, you know.
I'm giving this a 6. I feel like this was above average. I feel there were a lot fewer misses than season 1. There were some great hits, and Chopper gets an extra half-point bump from where Max was.
All hail Chopper.
Yep. And that wraps up Micro Month here. So, Max, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Coming through the whole journey with us.
Happy to be here for the ride, and always happy to be on the pod.
Yeah, Micro Month is officially concluded, Nick.
Oh no. Now what?
Yeah. Now what? We have some fun here because we have another piece of unfinished business we have to cover getting back to May here. We're going to talk next week about Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver here. So we have to close the book on this Zack Snyder Star Wars related mess.
Oh God.
I
That movie was a lot of fun.
Max, you a big fan of harvesting grain?
don't even know who that is. Harvesting Green.
Harvesting grain, like actually harvesting like the crop of grain.
I can't say that I do it personally, but it's important to a healthy diet.
Oh, this is the movie for you.
Okay. What's on Netflix? I'll check it out. Zack Snyder. Okay.
Yeah, I would say have plenty of alcohol handy when you watch this movie.
I definitely will.
Am I wrong, Nick?
No, they're just not good.
Is this like a tacky B movie sci-fi flick?
This was basically a storyline that Zack Snyder pitched to Disney and really the Star Wars film. They rejected it, and then he went to Netflix, retooled it, made his own franchise.
That's right.
Okay. I will check it out. That seems like a fun one to watch.
If you say so. Oh, I will say this here. We promised the audience we covered the full story. We covered the full story. So that's happening next week. Max, once again, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Happy to be here. Always happy to be on.
Yep. Nick, if you want to follow us on social media one more time, how can they do that?
At Sky Guys Podcast. It's on Instagram, Twitter X, Threads, and TikTok.
You can also follow me on social media, mphillips331. It's MPHILIPS331. This is over the Justin Suffering Podcast. We're getting you ready for some fun stuff here. The U.S. Opens this week, so we're going to talk about some tennis there and some more fun stuff. We'll be back soon with Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. But until then, may the Force be with you.